Talking about what's eating you. Talking about what's eating you.
Proudly brought to you by RogersHood Apothecary. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to What's Eating You. We are your hosts, Sam
and Kim.
And we are bringing you all of the health and wellness information and healing knowledge that you're hungry for. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Sam.
What a special episode this is. We are in the RogersHood production facility in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the heart of where it all happens and goes down, where each and every cleanse and product is made. Soaked.
Mm-hmm. It's all started here. Everything starts here and ships out of here.
It has been a really special couple of days. I've had the honor and privilege of joining the team here for a couple of days and being in the heart of the entire operation. Everyone here is so beautiful, has the best energy, and you can just really tell that this entire operation is run with intention and love. You feel it when you're here, and it's been so fun and such an honor to see it, man, and to see what you've built.
It's pretty wild.
It's so wild.
From afar, too. Like, yes. We built all of this from afar. I'm so glad you're here. We want everyone to see what we're doing. We want to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah.
All the way down to, like, we're going to show you what the whole facility looks like.
Yes, we absolutely are. Showing you the entire operation, the whole behind the scenes of how everything is done. And honestly, one of my favorite parts of this whole building and departments is the herb room, where like the stock room where you store so many of the dried, like, I mean, what, pounds and pounds?
Pounds and pounds. Because we do like a half a pound per herb per tincture. So there's just pounds. That's your favorite room?
Well, it's
Mine's
tied.
Soaking.
It's tied between soaking and that, because to get to walk in and see shelves full of all of these organic dried herbs just waiting to be soaked and turned into tinctures. Like, first of all, you know I love the herbs and the plants. I mean, I have a sea moss business that I'm obsessed with. The herbs, the plant kingdom, the intelligence of these plants, the healing qualities and properties of all of these mushrooms, especially. I mean, obviously, we are mushroom people. But to see all of them and then to go into the next section in the next department, which is the soaking room. And we're telling you, when we say like shelves of gigantic jars, that how long are these jars soaked before they become tinctures?
5 to 8 weeks. So it depends on what herb is inside of the jar. Like red artists, we soak those up to 8 weeks because that's really what the mushrooms need. And so they can soak longer. It's just that's the minimum amount that we like.
It's intentional by what herb is in it. So you're using science to extract healing properties from specific herbs. You're soaking those specific ones for a certain amount of time.
Right.
You know which one requires what length of time.
We know what requires what length of time. They're all the herbs that I've chosen for ParaFy, Moldies, Sustain, all of my tinctures. That I chose that specifically because I want them to be able to be pulled, the medicine, out of the herb with alcohol. So you soak them. And then we have a second process, which we're going to show you guys as well, that we make a tea. And then some of those herbs are water soluble and water pulls out the medicine. So like when you make a tea and then you put them together.
It's fascinating to me. You know, I love it. So I was like, man, and the smell.
The smell. I wish we had like a scratch and sniff so you could like, because it smells very much like cinnamon, clove. There's a little bitter, but.
The brewing room smells like honey.
Oh, yeah. Because, you know, we use honey as a medicine.
Raw honey.
Yep. Raw, unfiltered, unpasteurized honey.
Yeah.
And you can actually make that so that it helps fight candida. And that's why we put it in all of our tinctures, not just to give it a little bit of a better taste, but it has a medicinal reasoning for it.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's why while you're on the cleanse, while you're on the ParaFy Cleanse, raw unfiltered honey is one of the approved sweeteners while you're on the cleanse because it actually is anti-parasitic.
Right. Yeah. And anti-candida, which, you know, parasites are the candida too, but if you don't heat it up above 98 degrees, you try and keep it in that buffer zone. That's where the medicine comes from.
And then it also maintains its enzyme property because honey is packed full of enzymes. So not heating it past a certain point, it maintains its enzymes. So it helps with digestion, so many other properties as well. But I just have to say this really quick, okay? The people that work here
they're
love
so good.
their job. They love what they're doing. And it really is because your love for what you do, your intention, your heart, your mind, and your love, it's the head of the whole operation. And it really does transfer over and you feel it here. You really do.
Well, thanks.
You've built something so powerful, so beautiful. I mean, we love all of the workers here. Like, it would take forever to list off everyone's name, but I mean, Leslie, Jessica, Erica, of course,
Jory,
so many people.
Mo,
like everyone was so great, man.
And they've all started with us. So we all have been in this journey together in a sense, because we've had multiple shops until we created this one last year. We haven't even been in this a year yet. So, I mean, it is kind of wild, everything we've done since 2021, and not even at the beginning of 21.
No, end.
It was the end. It was like December 13th of 2021. And our first kit went out January 19th of 2022. So
I'm so glad you brought up timing, because can we just pause for a moment to highlight the fact we're in this, how many square feet?
It's 10,000 square feet.
We're in a 10,000 square feet manufacturing production facility for RogersHood that, I mean, she went from going viral, creating her own cleanse, to this in less than 4 years, really 3.5. And to build the level of company that you have in that short amount of time to literally what you're seeing here is beyond inspiring.
Thanks.
And it's like really like much respect, Kim Rogers, because it's no joke. You are a force.
It's no joke. That's for sure. It's wild. Yeah. Because we started in 175 square feet.
175.
Yeah, that's like where we're kind of sitting right now. Literally, if you were to like kind of mentally grasp the 175 square feet, it's literally this little square footage thing. And Erica and Jack, it was like in a shop behind their house. And they went in and they gutted it, and then they did all the correct precautions. They painted it, and they're like Tetris geniuses.
Nice.
So they did like this little, I call it the Dexter plastic, because we have Cinnabon, which is charcoal, and cinnamon, and it's so everywhere.
Messy.
Yeah, it's so messy. And they hand did all of the Cinnabon pills for a few years. So it was really messy.
Yeah, I know. They actually,
for a few years.
Her partners, Erica and Jack, they joke around and say that haunts them. The pill press haunts them.
Yep.
Gutty, like doing it all by hand. I mean, it's just the tenacity.
Right.
The tenacity for you all to just be like, we're starting homemade, and we're doing this thing no matter what. So started off in 175 square feet.
Right.
When did you graduate from that space? And then what did you move into from there?
So we started in April of 2022 in 175. And then we ended up in, I want to say November of 22. So it wasn't really a long time, but we had taken over almost all of Erica's house at that point. So they were just literally living and breathing RogersHood all day, every day. They never got a break. They would just go from their backyard, 175 square feet, into the house where all of our boxes were stored. You know, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, I live where I work because we build.
Yeah.
But like, I get it. Like, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So Jeremy and we live in Seattle. So we're really far away. And we're still building our log home. So we're still building a log home, and now we're building this business. And then we realized that we've got to figure something else out for them. And I was sitting there, I was getting a smoothie, and I sat down and I thought, gosh, it would be so nice if we could just find a metal building. And then I found it like an hour later.
Of course you did.
I'm like, I need to manifest this. Let's go.
Yeah. If you didn't know, let me let you know. Kim Rogers is a master manifester, and she will manifest things within seconds. So she found the perfect place.
Yeah.
Well, also, by the time it was time to transition into that space. And how many square feet was that one?
So that one's 2,400 square feet. And then that was in November of 22. And by June of 23, we were full.
Yeah.
And so we then put 1,000 square feet onto that building. So that building currently is 3,400 square feet.
You added on.
We
because
added
you
on.
needed more space.
Yeah. Immediately we knew. We were like, oh, we've filled this up fast. I have no idea, again, how those Tetris masters pulled all of that stuff out of 175.
Yeah.
And when I watched them fill it into the 2,400, it was full. Erica and Jack, geez. Oh my God, I thought I was good. But like,
it just shows though how quickly the company kept growing.
Yeah.
It's because the cleanses work.
Mm-hmm.
And so just from the growth alone, from the demand alone, you had to keep getting bigger. So you started to have to hire.
Correct.
And everything just kept growing and getting bigger, right?
Yeah.
So you outgrew that space. When did you move into this one? But didn't you guys build this one?
Yeah. Being able to build and customize it all yourself. That's what we felt like was the best option for us. 3.5 acres came available about 4 blocks away from the old shop. We bought it. And then immediately, I think it was like the next day, I have goosebumps. The next day we broke ground and we had our drawing. We sent it to Toby, who lives here in Jonesboro. He was our like general contractor and our builder. And then June of 24. So not even a year. We haven't even been in this
11 months.
Yep.
10 and a half months.
It's really kind of a thought of, wow, the mind really can do a lot of things. It really can maneuver you around a lot.
Well, you're a manifester, so we already said that. We all are manifestors.
Yeah.
I've manifested amazing, magical, wonderful big things in my life as well, like meeting you.
Yeah.
And building this amazing podcast with you, you know? But also you're a visionary and you are a builder, like literally, and also in the unseen in your mind. You're always building, you're always envisioning. So I'm curious, when you very first went viral, decided you were going to create your own parasite cleanse, did you see it already being as big as it is now, or did you even see it bigger than it is yet? Or what did you see in the beginning?
Well, I for sure saw the blue bottles, the white labels, the tinctures, binder. So I went viral in July, and then around September is when I started manifesting the ParaFy kit. And Jeremy actually came up with the name ParaFy.
Nice.
It means parasite purified.
Good job, Jer. We love it.
Good job, Jer. He's a really amazing person to do all of this with because he has that mind as well. And I can talk things out to him and draw it up, and then he just runs with it.
Well, he's also a generator, like me.
Just like Sam.
And we're doers. So like when a really great mind gives us an idea, we put our hands to it and we do it. So I love that. That's great. When you were manifesting and coming up and inventing, creating the ParaFy Cleanse, you mentioned that you knew you wanted Cinnabon, or that you wanted a binder. The beautiful thing about that is at the time, what was on the market for parasite cleansing did not include binders.
Right.
So you fulfilled a need that was unmet in the market. Probably 10 years ago, I got a gut test done and it tested positive for parasites, for fungus, for candida. And the naturopath I was working with at the time just handed me a bottle of Paragard and said, just take this along with your regimen and stuff. And I think she was doing the best she could at the time.
Right.
With the information she had. I think she didn't know that a binder was necessary. And you knew that, you came into the knowledge of that, what, through your own parasite cleansing
TikTok.
Experience? Okay.
Yeah. So TikTok, people, I would say, oh my gosh, these die-offs are terrible. What do I do? And then TikTok, the comments, I read every comment. So I was gathering all of this information from all of my community. Anyone that popped anything in, I would write it down and then I'd go research it. Because that's just my personality. I like to research and understand. And back in Western medicine days, I would administer charcoal in the ER because of alcohol poisoning or someone overdosing.
That's the only thing I ever knew about it.
Right.
Yeah, like like if someone ODs, they give them charcoal and it binds up.
It binds it before it hits the bloodstream. Once it hits the bloodstream, then it's over.
Okay.
And so you're trying to administer it as fast as possible to get as much of the toxins out, to make sure it doesn't cause, the unaliving of the person.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like, oh, you should add this into a parasite cleanse. And even in Western medicine, when you get an antiparasitic, they don't tell you have to take a binder with it. They hand you the bottle of pills. They tell you 3 to 5 days and you're good. But that's really not it. And so we had them coming out of our skin.
Let's dive into what during your initial parasite cleansing experience was so bad, it ended up leading you to the solution of needing to cleanse with the binder. So what were you guys going through while parasite cleansing without a binder that was so bad? What were the die-off symptoms you're talking about?
It was headache. They were coming out of our skin.
What was?
Worms.
Worms were coming out of your skin.
Yeah, they were coming out of our skin. They were coming out of our pee. Our stomachs were constantly upset. And, once a guy starts to not feel good after doing something, he just doesn't want to keep doing it. I'm like, no, you're going to keep doing this. And so I would go on my TikTok and I would say, hey, everyone, like, we're having these crazy die-offs. What are we missing? And I remember the Wooden Gypsy popped in and goes, you need a binder, Kim. And I'm like, what? What is that? And so I remember duetting her video and listening, having everyone hear that you need a binder. And so then I started looking, who has binders? Where do I find this charcoal? Where do I, what do I do? And so then I started reading more about other things you should add than just charcoal, because cinnamon helps with inflammation. Clay is a different type of binder. So I was trying to decide which one I wanted to take most. And I liked cinnamon and I liked charcoal, and that's how Cinnabon came about.
Wow. I feel great when I take Cinnabon.
Yeah, you love Cinnabon.
I love Cinnabon.
Yeah.
When I wake up feeling better the next morning when I take it at night. And I want to actually just deposit this little tip here, because we actually have people comment all the time saying like, oh, I always forget to take my Cinnabon. Like, oh, I did the cleanse, but I kept forgetting the binder.
It's just like another layer of detoxing.
Yes. So the tip that I love to give to people that really worked wonders for me, leave Cinnabon on your nightstand.
Yes.
Because it should be taken 2 hours away from any other medicines, herbs, supplements, pharmaceuticals, because it will bind them up and you'll be wasting money, but also your body won't absorb what you're taking if you take Cinnabon with it. So I just made it a habit to have it be the last thing that entered my body before I went to sleep.
Smart.
It's been 2 hours already since I took like my nighttime supplements. I did my bedtime routine. I'm winding down. I'm about to get into bed. Right there on the nightstand, you can't forget, because it's like that habit. It's like when you're forming a habit and you use visual as part of the steps to form the new habit, you put something in eye's view that you can't forget it, right? So that's a good tip for everyone. Just keep Cinnabon on your nightstand. Let it be the very last thing you put into your mouth before you fall asleep. Take it, close your eyes.
Make it work while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Like that's the smartest way. And that's why I say at night, because then you're not, oh, did I take this? Did I not take this? It's just right there. Our driver for that is lungwort lichen, by the way. So the lungwort lichen is the biofilm buster herb that we use, and it'll drive the cinnamon inside.
What tincture is that in?
Metal flush.
So metal flush. Oh my gosh, I just love this because I didn't know that before.
Oh, yeah. Metal flush pulls the heavy metals out and then also breaks the biofilm. And when we added that in, so our original kit did not have metal flush in it. I realized in like a year and a half into this that we really needed to have more of a biofilm busting herb. So we added metal flush because it was so important to bust the biofilm.
Yeah.
And so I had studied and researched enough at this point that metals hold them down. And that's what we were all seeing in the fulvic soak when there's like this weird floaty, shimmery stuff. That's heavy metals coming out of your pores. And so they're weighing down the parasites. So it's almost like you have to do a series that we have given in the kit.
You're covering more ground. To me, like you adding that in.
It's a biohack stacking.
Biohacking. I love that with the ParaFy Cleanse, you cleanse out so much more than just parasites.
Yes.
There's parasite cleanses out there, but with ParaFy, you really are cleansing out heavy metals, bad bacteria, candida, viruses, mucus, the biofilm.
And even cinnamon helps because they're holding spores. So you really need something in there to assist with spore removal.
Yeah.
And so cinnamon is that assistant.
Yeah.
So you really, and I learned this because we had a bad cleanse. We didn't know that the heavy metals weighted things down. You have candida that will flare up when you're doing just wormwood.
Yeah.
So you need something to calm the candida down. You need a binder. And I didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we were on food stamps. We were on governmental assistance when Jeremy and I decided to go out to the land to build. We didn't have any money. And so I was very lucky that a lot of companies were sending me their products to try. But then when I was going back and looking, oh, well, when I talk about these products and they need this kit, it's like $250 each. And other companies can charge up to like $800, and you need a practitioner. Those were things we didn't have the opportunity for, me and Jeremy. And so I remember around September of that year, after I'd gone viral in July of 21, September of 21, I really started looking at how I could make this. But me personally, I always knew I would not be the one behind the kitchen counter making it. I always knew that.
You're the mind.
I just needed to be able to give someone instructions, show them and tell them how to do this, and basically be my hands because I wasn't well enough.
Teamwork make the dream work.
That's right.
And right now RogersHood has like a 30
team members.
30-person team. So I would say you've come a long way. Also, the development of the cleanse, I love that because it's so just real.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't know it all in the beginning, and that's okay. You still started. Like, I hope that's inspiring to someone listening. Like, you don't have to have the complete picture or the complete formula or any, but like just get started because it developed as and evolved as time went on. So you added to the more you learned, and you made it even more efficient. You made it even more effective. You made it even more, oh, well, let's also help them cleanse heavy metals at the same time. Like, I think that's a beautiful process that you went through.
I think even if, I told Jeremy this all the time, even if we didn't sell a single kit, we would have a lifetime supply of antiparasitics. I mean,
just go hand them out.
We were just like, all right, what else can we do here?
Yeah.
And I think I don't talk about this. I don't because everybody goes through something, right?
Okay.
But it was definitely a struggle living in a travel trailer, going and watching my husband build, giving instructions to Erica to start building this side of the business, and me literally just sitting in a chair in my travel trailer.
Why were you sitting in a chair?
I was so sick I could not go outside.
Could you even get out of the chair?
Not on an everyday basis. Not every day.
You lived from that chair.
I did. I would get up. I've always left the bed. Like, I've never been a chronically ill person that lays in bed all day, but I go from my bed to my chair, and I would sit in my chair, and I would have my entire office surrounding me, and I would not leave that chair. And it was really hard because I was watching everyone else live my life. And all I could do was just bark directions and tell people, like, you have to do it this way.
You couldn't get up and do it. Did you at the time think or know that you would make it out of that chair one day?
I had hoped. And I feel like once we found out there was mold in the trailer, I really was like, oh my God, like, this is fixable, But before that, it was like, it was a really, really tough struggle. I just never really knew what my health would be like from one day to the next. And, 2020 really hit Washington hard. And so I didn't feel like I could go to any doctors because I wasn't participating in the same, I wasn't in the matrix.
Bishop
really.
calls it transition.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You were in a transition period. You were coming out of this world of Western medicine and entering this world, but you weren't quite it was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
But you were this in this in between. But I love that during that time you've shared with me before, you relied so heavily on your intuition and on the mushrooms and their wisdom, the plant wisdom, to really give you the answers to pull you out
every day.
Would you be willing to share any of the wisdom that the mushrooms told you or taught you during that time too, that were keys to help you get out of that chair?
Cleanse.
They told you that?
Every day. I would think it was like, back in back in the 90s, my mom did a lot of cabbage cleanses, and my mom would always fall on a trend and we would follow with her. And, I just remember like hearing this word cleanse and I'm like, cabbage cleanse? And then, I would see worms, which always stuck out to me, like around the land, because I would walk a lot towards the end of this journey, I was able to kind of go out and do some walking.
You would see worms like on the ground, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh.
I would see worms.
Wow.
And then one day Jeremy set up his phone because he would record the build.
Yeah.
Not only did he record the build for me to put it on TikTok, because that really was an outlet for me, he would do it so I could be a part of it. And there was a worm that crawled down his lens.
A worm.
It was just funny.
A worm. It was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's poetry to me. That's poetic.
Probably the biggest thing that I came across was the mushrooms. And I remember driving out with Jeremy, because a good outing for me was to get in the car and drive to the grocery store with him, sit in the car while he did the groceries, and then leave with him. Like, that was a good outing for me because I physically could leave the chair and go out about with him, even if I couldn't go inside. And I remember we were pulling out of the driveway and I said, I want someday the world to know how amazing mushrooms were. So not once did I think I was going to be the worm queen, but I really thought it was going to be a mushroom thing.
I would say that they've penetrated our lives. Yeah. How would you use the mushrooms?
Well, I took them as like medicine. So I'd always done mushrooms. I'd always been into psychedelics. And I knew what they could do for your mind, and I knew they could expand your mind. So I thought, okay, I also know that some mushrooms have this thing in them that help you go to the bathroom, and I hadn't been going to the bathroom. And so that's kind of what made us spark doing mushrooms. And I ended up realizing that like I could just open up my mind even more. And even if I physically in this realm could not leave my chair, I mentally could. I mentally could walk and do other things, but I physically knew that like that just wasn't possible. So I would just do things to help at least keep me going and allow me to understand the universe a little bit better and understand why I've been put here. Yep. And this is why.
You would take them and meditate, right?
Yeah. I meditated sometimes between 6 to 8 hours a day. On average, I would do it every day. Fridays, I would take a little bit more of the mushrooms because you should reset yourself a little bit. So I would go on a little bit more of a journey on Fridays. And then some days I'd take like Saturday, Sunday off, and then I would kind of get back at it so that I could really transition myself better off of big pharma.
Wow.
And allow me to have a better understanding of what's going on with me. Because, we really did not think that I would be around to see the end of like the build of my log home.
So during a mushroom meditation, you heard them tell you to cleanse.
Yes, many times.
And this is before you cleansed or tried to.
Yep.
So they were instructing you to cleanse to basically save your life.
Correct.
And so then you did a parasite cleanse because TikTok was your outlet. You were living in the chair.
You
had a company
Yep.
that sent you some parasite cleansing for supplements.
Right. Saw the chick that said, oh, she almost unalived herself over worms. And I thought, I had worms a few years ago, but I was told, gaslit, that you don't. So then I ended up doing Paragard, which ripped my gut up and gave me candida, which is what led me to sustain.
Yeah.
And then I ended up realizing that that was actually my problem. That was one of my root causes. I mean, I have multiple root causes, but that was one.
And it was a big one.
Big one. Huge. Pain went away. My clarity, I had more clarity. Like I had a better understanding of what was going on with me.
Yeah. I'd love to insert right here the video that Kim went viral on, because she literally just parasite cleansed and is talking about all the dead carcasses, right?
Yes.
Dead carcasses everywhere. It's something like that, right?
That's it.
Okay. So we're going to insert that here so you guys can see, and you'll have a better backstory to exactly where she was in life. And she's out on the land.
Worked in the medical field for 18 years and not once have I ever dewormed myself. Until now. Dead carcasses everywhere. I took 4 a day for the last 11 days. It says you can do 4 a day for 30 days. So I think I'm going to do, I eat healthy. But that doesn't matter if you've had worms for 40 plus years. I did have a little bit of a different carcass situation than PPR. Mine, I peed them out and they came out of my skin. Yep. Overall, I feel better. I have more energy. My skin is clear. And I just feel like I don't have worms anymore.
Yeah, I was out in front of the log home.
In front of the log home?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just still raw logs.
Yep.
And when all of this was going down, there was something missing. I didn't have instructions. I'm relying on my comments on my TikTok account. I didn't really have like the full understanding because I come from Western medicine. This is not normal. Like we just would go right past parasites.
Right.
So I feel like being able to serve with the community and have like farmers and ranchers come in and tell me they did Ivor and this. And I'm like, oh, well, what makes Ivor or what makes Fend or Mend or all of these antiparasitics so much better than an herb? And so I would dig in. I would start looking at, well, why are they taking this? Why would they take this? And then what's comparable with an herb? So I know that the DNA structure of Amanita is the same as Klonopin. So if they did that with a benzodiazepine, which is what I was on, trying to get off of after 22 years, what else did they mimic and synthesize so that I have a better idea of what is going on? And I loved pharmacology in college. It was one of my favorite things to do. I loved teaching it as a professor. I loved looking at it. I thought I would go and do pharmacy, but I actually just got too sick a lot. Like I would do good and then I would drop down.
So you're basically saying your entire history and journey prepared you for that moment.
Yes.
For you to parasite cleanse, see all of these worms come out, know it's a real thing, know it's contributing to your
what
chronic
happened
illness.
with the human body, why it did that, what I took to make the human body push the herbs out, and how it all processes.
Then knowing I can make this better.
Yes.
I can make this better. So let me get to problem solving and using all of my experience and years understanding and overstanding pharma and how to
because you have to
herbs,
take
right?
pharmacy and you have to take A&P. And you have to know that one is going to affect the other and how they affect them. And then what's a side effect? What's the issue? How is it helping it? And then what else is it going to produce? So the worms drop the heavy metals, the worms drop the spores. So what do you need to come in and sweep those out? It was a pill and it was like $100. I mean, that's expensive. You know, it's expensive. So now I'm like, oh, but you got to bind this. Okay, those are like $30 more.
Yeah.
It was just nuts.
It was pricey for the average person.
It's
to pay.
pricey.
So you also, in the beginning, coming up with this idea and vision and creating your own, knew you wanted to make it cost effective.
Yeah.
You wanted people to be able to afford it.
Yes. Erica and I had decided that we didn't want to charge more than $100.
Beautiful.
And we would never change the price.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've had to not include shipping, which we never included shipping because the kit itself is just $100. But, you know, people ship all over the world and it's expensive and we ship all over the world. And then I knew what is in my medicine, right? What is in my tinctures? What is in my
You knew for
my
sure.
worm cleanse?
There was no hidden ingredients.
Right.
Very transparent. I mean, you can see it here. We'll show you guys the jars that are soaking. You know what's in it.
Yeah.
So you started to use Amanita to actually
transition off of the Klonopin.
Beautiful. So you got yourself off of big pharma using nature and mushrooms.
Yes.
You then, once you started coming up with the ParaFy Cleanse, like formulating your own cleanse, how soon was it that you actually like had some that you made that you were able to take yourself? Like when did you do your first ParaFy Cleanse?
So I came up with the recipe right before Thanksgiving. And then we were able to taste it at Christmas.
Amazing.
Yeah. I worked on the recipe for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 6 weeks.
And speaking of the recipe, we've said this before on another episode, but I just have to give Jer his flowers again because it's one of my favorite things. When they were coming up with the recipe, Jer said, if they want to see worms,
let them see worms.
As in they wanted to put enough herbs in every tincture to where if you want to parasite cleanse and see worms, you gonna see them. And everyone, I mean, if you don't know, now you know, I have seen hundreds of worms leave my body, including here we are in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I haven't had a worm come out of my nose in months. If you don't know, I've had worms leave my nose from the ParaFy Cleanse. Over 100 I blew out of my nose over the past year and a half. And it's been months, haven't seen them. I'm like, oh, they're all out of there. And then here we are. We spend one day in the shop. I'm around all of these herbs. I'm smelling them. I'm in the frequency of the ParaFy Cleanse. I'm with the worm queen who carries a frequency that if you're around her, you will probably just discard a worm from being in her presence. And just the other night, a worm came out of my nose. And I'm like, Kim, a worm came out of my nose last night. Like, this is insane. Like, what in the world? So when you very first did the ParaFy Cleanse yourself, did you see worms?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
For sure.
From your own
From
cleanse.
my own
How
cleanse.
cool is that?
And I looked at Jeremy and I said, oh, yeah, you put enough herbs in there for sure. Because I didn't know the amount we should use. I knew what we should use. And then his brilliant mind actually came up with all of the numbers. And then, you know, when you're making it with alcohol, you have to keep the alcohol at the correct percent so that things don't grow in it, which we do third-party tests to make sure, you know, there's nothing growing. And you have to make sure that you balance it all out. And so his brilliant mind is the one that was able to balance it all out so that we ended up having an entire kit and tinctures and just everything that you see.
Such a beautiful partnership. I love the way you guys work together.
Yeah, thank you.
So using Amanita to transition off of Big Pharma, using ParaFy and all of these herbs to keep parasite cleansing, getting all of these harmful organisms and environmental toxins out of your body, getting out of the mold trailer once you realize that there was mold there, you started to feel better and better and better, right? So you made it out of the chair.
Made it out of the chair.
You did. I'm so happy you did, and I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
And now look where we're sitting. We're sitting in beautiful chairs inside of your 10,000 square foot manufacturing facility from, I mean, life is just beautiful and full circle like that. And I just have to acknowledge you because you are a fighter. You are such a fighter, man. And it's really amazing. You know, I've said to Kim so many times before, like, not only did you survive when at one point she didn't know whether or not she was going to make it. That's how sick Kim really was. And not only did you survive, but you came back and thrived beyond thrive.
Yep.
And what do you actually call it? What are you coining this?
Revenge health.
Revenge health. Can we like break that down for a second? Because I think it's such a genius like thing. So break it down. What is revenge health, Kim?
So I'm pretty angry at my field after 2020 and everything that I learned about my body and just kind of how I was medically neglected and borderline abused and gaslit. And then everything everyone else had to go through in 2020. I decided that it was time for me to do medical revenge and get revenge health, kind of like when you break up with someone and you get the revenge body. Because I don't think people really realize that I come from Western medicine. I was deep in it. I taught it. I wrote about it. It was my life. So to see a lot of the things that have happened and to see what happened to me and to be so ignored and lied to, I really want everyone else around me to be healthy.
I heard you say revenge health for the first time probably in the past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about it until this moment, but I completely relate. I was not chronically ill my whole life, but I was on the all-American diet. I was on pharmaceuticals. I was on, at one point in my life for a couple of years, dangerous amounts of really strong antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. And I shouldn't have been. I should have been instructed to exercise. I should have been instructed to change my food intake. I was sick and tired and chronically fatigued and so depressed, and days of not being able to get out of bed to shower, literally not having the energy to get out of bed and shower. And I wondered at 22,
oh, that is so young.
How will I ever be able to achieve anything? And I had so many dreams and visions of music and doing music professionally. And just, I saw it all inside of myself, but I didn't know how I was going to do that if I couldn't even get up to shower.
Right.
So here I was, 22, knowing deep inside I'm way too young to feel this old. And I reached a rock bottom point where my spirit was like, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
No one's coming to save me. And if I don't take my health into my own hands and heal myself, this is how I'm going to live until I die. And so when you say revenge health, I absolutely had an awakening because I knew if I don't do it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I have to take my health into my own hands and my life, my power back. I've given it away somewhere along the way. I don't know when or where, but I did. I gave it away. I trusted doctors who, when I went in and told them, I just don't feel very good. I don't really have motivation. I'm tired all the time. Girl, you weren't moving at all. You were literally sedentary all day, every day. You were eating fast food and garbage and all of this processed food. You were never getting sun. Of course you were unmotivated and feeling depressed. And instead of them being like, well, what do you eat? Or, you know, what's your lifestyle? What's your exercise life like? They were like, oh, here you go, and put me on heavy antidepressants that made me feel like a zombie.
Yep.
Put me on anti-anxiety medication because I'm like, yeah, sometimes I get a little anxious. Oh, here you go. And that's how I feel I was handled. And I really never had full words for it until I met you and listened to you talk about how you were mishandled or you were abandoned or you were gaslit. And then you were just handed pills or surgeries instead of like really focus on root cause of why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And let's handle that.
Yeah.
Let's get to the root and let's fix it. And environmental toxins are
huge.
Probably the biggest root of all of the things. And so I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you for
glad you went through that and got through it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sad you had to go through it, but I'm really glad that you made it through because not everyone makes it through, Sam.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
so grateful. And I'm so grateful I woke up young.
Yeah. Because I was like in my 20s when I started to fall into the cycle of Western medicine cartel. the mafia.
Oh, man.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard.
Yeah.
Like I was eating trashy and following exactly what they said to say, you know, do, even though in the back of my head, I still was a plant medicine person. And I would use plant medicine when I would have my surgeries. Jeremy would make me brownies or little muffins with, you know, a little bit of cannabis in it just to kind of help me make it through.
You've always used the plants.
I've always, since I was 13 years old. There's a whole nother story some other time that we can talk about that. But it's a long, lengthy like process when you're really hopping out of an entire issue. Like Western medicine has indoctrinated us, society. They think it's the only way and it's just not.
No.
And so I'm glad you saw that too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you saw it young.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, I really did at that age. I just didn't really have a word for it. I always say woke up, but yeah, I was after revenge health, man.
Revenge health. And you wanted medical freedom.
I'm taking my power back.
Yep.
I don't know where or when I gave it away, but I did. And I'm taking it back. I'm taking my health into my own hands. I'm taking my life, the outcome of my life into my own hands. No one ever is going to ever tell me again what I should take or do for my own health. I'm going to know best for me.
Right.
Period.
And that's kind of what we want to do here. We're trying to show everybody so you can have your own medical freedom.
That's
and
right.
You can be able to morph your own decisions into what you need.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the next, I'm going to say 6 months to a year, I would love for the information to be more mainstream. I would love for us to be able to have accurate testing for mold and parasites, have it be affordable for anyone that really needs it. And even all the way down to why can't we do this once a year? Because like they say, like 60% of the houses and businesses in the United States has mold in it.
And those are just like tested ones. So really we think the number is way higher.
I'm always going to be like 90 to 95% because nothing's 100% in life. But, you know, why don't we have these opportunities to at least go, Nope, not parasites. Nope, not Lyme. Nope, not mold. Okay, now we can go and do a hysterectomy on you that could potentially have gotten botched.
But let's at least rule it out. Environmental toxins.
Exactly.
Because you are so deep in this, you know for a fact that they are a huge, a major cause. One of the biggest causes of all of these diseases, chronic illnesses, right?
Yep.
So you're saying testing should not only be affordable and accessible, but it should be accurate.
Yep.
And everyone should be able to do it at least once a year.
Mm-hmm. Why? I mean, you're going in and getting blood work. And if they understand all of what we're saying and all of what we're doing, and then they go and they accurately test you, or at least try. I mean, parasite testing isn't always accurate depending on the cycle of the parasite and how well they're hidden. But mold testing is blood work. So it's not difficult. You should be able to go through a few different popular general molds that can cause you to be sick and rule it out. Because once you look and there might be mold in your body and you have Epstein-Barr virus, you have cytomegalovirus. These are viruses that really love mold.
Or you have certain mental
health issues because mold brainwashes and causes anxiety and
weight gain.
Oh, the weight gain was unbelievable. I would go days and not eat anything. I would gain like 6 pounds. And that's how we kind of started to slowly figure out we had mold in the travel trailer. Because I was losing my hair, I was breaking, my eyes were swelling shut, and here I am on film, right? My eyes are like this, totally red and puffy. My hair was falling out. And if they would have just gone and tested me at some point, they would have realized that a lot of my problems that I had with female issues was because of mold. I have 11 active molds in my body.
And you had how many surgeries?
13. And a hysterectomy included in that 13.
So it's possible that all or a lot of those surgeries could have been avoided if you would have been able to test first for environmental toxins and then have the solution on what to do to get rid of them out of your body.
An informed, really knowledgeable decision. It could have avoided it. There are just way too many of these issues. There's just way too many. And there's so many easy solutions that we can do because I come from academics. I know how to make the solutions work. I'm a solution-based person. If there's a problem, before I even talk about the problem, I hit the solution. And then I start figuring out how to fix the problem. Obviously, one of our biggest problems is parasites.
Yeah.
You know? And so
And look at the solution you created. Can we just... Listen, we're here to spread the word about this.
Yep.
We are making noise. That's what this podcast is. We're so grateful to have built this platform to get this information out. And really, too, always encouraging, always advocating for you to be your own patient advocate, AKA have your own medical sovereignty. Take your power back, take your health back. Get it through revenge health if that's if that's what you need to do, whatever it is. But also we're bridging the gap.
Yes.
We're bridging the gap between Western medicine and traditional medicine.
Yes.
And I'm so honored and grateful to be here with you. This is inspiring. You've inspired me tremendously. And
Same.
I'm eternally grateful for you, Kim Rogers. And
I'm so grateful for you, Sam Bruno.
Thank you.
Really, you have done such an amazing job with this podcast and your knowledge and this community, and people love you and I love you and our team here loves you. I mean, it was just so fun. You were even recognized here in Jonesboro when we were going into Toby's business.
Yeah,
someone goes, "Oh my God, Sam Bruno!"
Shout out to Zoe from Jonesboro, Arkansas, who loves Search Party and the movie Paper Towns. Hi, Zoe. As we do at the end of every single episode, we like to give honor to the plants by sharing a plant that's been calling to us or we've been using a lot lately, or that, you know, something that is currently present in our life right now. And right now for me, I'm going to go ahead and say She Legit.
Oh.
Which that's not necessarily a plant, but it is a substance from the earth. And it's packed full of minerals that is so energizing. It's so incredible for immune health. When I take it, I feel like running a marathon right after. I took it this morning right before running like 10 up and down the hill in the backyard of the house we're staying at. I took it this morning and I was like, oh, there's my energy boost. But Shilajit's amazing. It's a resin. Mountain gold is what they call it.
It's good.
It's very potent, very powerful, and I absolutely love Shilajit. So that would be mine right now. What about you?
Sarsaparilla. I've just been seeing it everywhere and hearing it everywhere. And I put it in my lymph tincture for the new lymph kit. And it just really helps your lymphatic system drain and really kind of give you some relief when you are having die-offs. And just, I've heard it like 3 or 4 times in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's speaking to me.
Get yourself a lymph kit. Get yourself a ParaFy kit. If you have already ParaFy cleansed, amazing. If you have not, you have an opportunity to use our podcast code, What's Eating You, at checkout at RogersHood.com. We spell it What's Eating and the letter U, and you can get 10% off of any product, any cleanse, any kit at RogersHood.com. So check that out. Kim, I absolutely love and adore you.
I love and adore you, Sam.
This is very special to do this here in Jonesboro,
yes.
Arkansas. If you heard any birds during the making of this production, it's because we have a beautiful door open behind us looking at the beautiful green terrain and forest of Jonesboro, Arkansas. And it is just absolutely beautiful here.
It's just gorgeous. We love it. We're so thankful for the city. They just really have embraced RogersHood. So we're really grateful to be in Jonesboro.
I'm grateful to be here too.
Yeah.
Thanks. Till next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
And now enjoy this first-time exclusive behind-the-scenes look inside the RogersHood manufacturing shop where it all goes down. Featuring the original music from What's Eating You Season 1 by Sam Bruno and Bishop 7.
Welcome to RogersHood Shop, but it's really our production manufacturing facility, but we call it the shop just because, it sounds better. This is the break room where everybody comes and hangs out and eats. We have a conference room over here. And we built it very similar to this side being a house and the other side being production. We wanted everyone to be comfortable and happy. Production's a hard job. It's hard to do what we're doing. So I wanted it to be a nice environment for everyone. And then Toby from Jonesboro, Arkansas made all of our signs. This is my favorite room. This is our soaking room. This is where all of the magic happens. In my opinion, this is all the magic. Here's the herb room. Look at all those yummy herbs. Here's just overflow PPE, which is personal protection equipment. Overflow some herbs. And here's our shipping. This is where the kits were made to ship out. Here's where we brew our teas and make our tinctures. Here's where we label everything. We have our fulvic soap and gummy, and then these actually seal all the packages. This is where we make gummy. This is where we make Cinnabon. We had to build special exhaust in here for her. This is where we put fulvic in the bags. And this is where finished product goes. And then they roll them out here and then they get shipped to go out.
To who?
You, our community. Thank you for touring it with me. It's amazing. It's one of the first times I've actually had the time when I come here to do a tour and show all of you what our facility looks like. So thank you.
Thank you for all your support on Season 1. We're just warming up. Stay tuned for Season 2. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your loved ones. Much health and love, Kim and Sam.